Okay, Andy Murray has renounced his retirement this year. He will retire planned after Wimbledon, but the Australian Open could be his last tournament that he competes in. It's to do with his long-standing hip injury, which he's had surgery for. It's been nagging him now for 20 months. He had surgery last year to try and correct the problem, and he missed a lot of last year playing time with the injury to recover from the hip injury. Then it flared up again. So he hasn't played a lot in the last 20 months. He's been plagued by this hip injury, and it's got to a point where he's only 31, so he's not the oldest tennis player on tour, but he's calling it a day this summer. Well, that's the plan. Um, it is a shame that he's had to retire due to injury, but he has stated in his statement, in his press conference, that it's his quality of life post tennis that is important. And this is what gets missed a lot of the time by a lot of people, is the quality of life post retirement for players of all sports. The thing is, earlier in his career, he had ankle problems, and he overcame them. People were questioning whether his ankles would be an issue going forward, so he wore these ankle braces, which occasionally you see him at tournaments wearing. He went over his ankle when he was about 18, 19 years old at a Grand Slam, and doctors recommended that he have ankle braces to help strengthen his ankles and things like that. But when your hip goes, your cross-court movement goes with it. So he battled through his ankle injuries in his early career, and then in the last 2 years, his hip has just failed him, and he's really not as quick on around the court. So he's less competitive because he can't move as quickly. And it's more of a struggle, and you can tell he's in a lot of discomfort. He was in discomfort last year at Wimbledon, and he can't be as effective as a tennis player with this injury. He was very emotional during his press conference, but you've got to think of it this way. He's the first Brit since the 30s to win Wimbledon. He's won 2 Olympic gold medals. I think he's won the US Open twice. He's won 3 Grand Slams, 2 Olympic gold medals, 37 weeks at number one. He is Britain's best tennis player of the modern era, and he's inspired Kyle Edmund and other young British tennis players to start playing tennis and keep playing tennis as professionals in this current generation. So he's done many great things for the sport. And yes, he is the 4th best tennis player of this generation behind Federer, Nadal and Djokovic. There is no doubt about that. But he's an esteemed company because he's a multiple Grand Slam winner. It is hard to win a Grand Slam. To win it multiple times, or to win them multiple times, is no mean feat. And this generation of those 4 players is coming to an end, and some of the up and comers are breaking through. And I think we're going to see a lot of different names on the Grand Slam titles in the next couple of years. I really, really do. But Andy Murray's done some great things for tennis. He's also lost a couple of Grand Slam finals as well in there, so he's been to multiple Grand Slam finals. He's been a great ambassador for the sport, and people say, oh, he's got no personality, he's boring. In this press conference, he showed a lot of personality and emotion, which you don't normally see from him in press conferences. Yes, he does come across as quite bland and dull, but he's a Scotsman from Dunblane. That's how a lot of people in Dunblane talk. They have that kind of Scottish accent, quite a calm Scottish accent. It's just the part of Scotland he's from. But today you did see a lot of emotion, from him, and you can tell it. This decision has not come lightly, but it was being discussed last year. So this has been in the pipework for quite some time. He could retire anywhere between next week and 5 months' time. So in the next 5 months, we will know when Andy Murray has played his last tennis match and entered his last tournament. If he does make it to Wimbledon, it will be a fitting farewell if he was to bow out after Wimbledon. I think that would be very apt, very fitting. But if he has to retire after the Australian Open, he's planned for that. There's contingency planning. His coaching team, his training partners, all his support team are aware of this decision. This was a very difficult decision to make. But I think with that hip injury, he's only going to keep making it worse and require another surgery down the line. And I think, yes, quality of life is vitally important, and it's something that gets missed a lot of the time, and we expect these athletes to be superhuman. There is a limit to endurance, and he's taken it as far as he can with his hip injury. And you know, he's 31. He shouldn't need a hip replacement. That's the path he'll be going down eventually. Is when he's 45, 55, however old he is, he's going to need his hip replaced. And he was 29 when he injured that hip. You shouldn't be having a hip replacement or hip operations at the age of 29. It's just no. Your body shouldn't be that wrecked. But obviously, being a professional tennis player takes a lot more out of the body than people realise. But there we go. Andy Murray is to retire from tennis this year, and it's a great shame. But the amount of stress and strain tennis players at the top level put on their body, in fact, at all levels put on their body, people just do not realise how much physically these players put themselves through to play in these tournaments. And bearing in mind, tennis and golf and darts and tournaments like this are all prize money based in some sports. So you don't play, you don't get paid. So a lot of these players are battling through injury a lot of the time. When in other sports, when they have a salary, they would be on the injured reserve list, receiving treatment to recover from injuries. Tennis players, golfers, they have to play through injuries to get paid. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.